Welcome, race fans, to the very beginning of the summer series here at Lanes Raceway. Coming up first in our race schedule today is going to be the mini stock truck series here at Lanes Raceway. Have you noticed something new? Because I'll tell you right now, I think I've noticed something new. It's the strike board. You got it. The heat is increasing out there. Summertime's coming in, and it's going to be hot. So no more communities here at Lanes Raceway. 3 strikes, you're out. These guys better be on their A game when it comes to racing, because there is no communities. 3 strikes, you're out. Got a full board here today. Glenn Burden on red, Randy Kirtley on white, Jay Latham on green, Gunnar Vender on orange, Robert LaFoon on blue, Gerald Whitaker on yellow, Brian Vender on purple, and Jackson Darty on black to start out this race. We see the king himself there in your upper right-hand portion of your screen wearing his new Lanes Raceway Spring Series shirt here. Jay Latham still representing for Lanes Raceway, at least for a couple more months when we start the 4 Crowns Series here at Lanes Raceway. And we've already got 2 of those crowns down. You know, we got the purple crown. That's the Group 20 wing car coming up this winter in November. And now we know our blue crown is the UMP open wheel dirt modified class here. And now we're in the summer series. We're looking to find out of one of these 3 series that we're fixing to run, the mini stock truck series, the Group 12X LMP class, and the Fairview IT Cup series. One of them is going to go on and be your green crown for the 4 crowns. Checking over here on the racers real quick, see if they're ready to go. Looks like we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're missing one. And as soon as they get there, we'll be ready to rock and roll. We've got a full plethora of trucks here. I wish the T would take a picture of them trucks, maybe. As beautiful as they are, that might be the last time we get to see them in such beautiful condition. Nonetheless, all these racers excited in this class. We ran a preliminary in this class last week, and I'll tell you what, it was very, very successful. A lot of good, close racing, hardly any wrecks, but it was a really good race nonetheless. Wife's getting a picture there at the end of the track, you can see. Racers, are you ready? All right, watch your lights. Finally got the computer back up and working. As you guys know, is having some issues with the sound on the computer not actually working. It's hit or miss, you know. We just did a update just a few moments ago before we started the live stream, and it was a Windows update for our computer. So hopefully that fixes some of the errors we were having during the banquet where we lost a few frames here and there. But as you guys can see, these trucks are pretty locked in. They're not really extremely fast, but quite competitive, especially down low where that the race is going to be won. So mainly the focus is going to be on black for the most part. As we can see, Brian Vender and Jackson Darty down low running as hard as they can go. Jackson Darty right now with 17 laps, and Brian Vender also right there with him within the same lap. Brian Vender currently in the lead there on purple, looking to be one of the fastest cars here as you see that teal colored ride rolling around there. We got our first wreck here in the high banks, and you can see a big difference here. Dead Man's Corner not collecting as many racers as you would normally see, as these cars are somewhat slower, giving the guys a little bit of time to let off on the trigger. Bound to be some pretty tight, close racing, especially in this class. So we see red, white, and green with their first strikes. Now just remember, they got 2 more strikes and they're out. But like I said, this class here especially, not really big on wrecking. If people give each other room, it's a pretty close little race here for sure. They even thought about jostling around a few ideas for the upcoming series. So we see a car come off, get knocked back in its lane, and then collect Brian Vender. So it looks like Brian Vender has a car off a yellow lane to come into his lane. So purple and yellow both receiving strikes there. some of the things we were actually tossing around was points for parts. And we might introduce that maybe in the fall series, because I want to steadily increase the heat as we get to the 4 crowns. And we get into the 4 crowns, it's going to be as hot as it possibly can be here at Lanes Raceway when it comes to, you better have the skill to pay the bills, because whoever's going to be king of Lanes Raceway for 2025, they're going to earn it. 28 seconds left to go here in the heat, and I am still constantly just trying to find things to make guys focus in and run hard with one another. You see it's kind of paying off here. Only 1 strike for these individuals. We get a car to the inside here. Glenn Burton, festive looking like he's ready for a 4th of July cookout. I know I look like one too. Only people that's got taste at Lanes Raceway is me and Glenn. That's going to be 2 strikes on yellow. One more strike on yellow, and that'll be it for this round for him. Gerald Whitaker. Gerald Whitaker actually picking up his laps a lot here in the past few weeks. As you can see, he's only 3 laps down from Glenn Burton currently. So everybody's running really close here today, within just about 10 laps of each other from top to bottom. So we got a stalled car here. Check his braid. That car didn't even move. Won't actually count a strike there. Bring me that car. Are the braids too low on it? Are the braids even hooked up? One of the wires came off, folks. Of course, each racer gets 30 seconds. Brian Bender there helping Gerald Whitaker get his mini truck back up and rolling. Gerald Whitaker representing the Fox body here, West Fox body. All right, thanks to Brian Bender there for helping Gerald out. Let's see if we can finish this heat out as I get attacked by a humongous fly. All right, at the end of a red flag rotation, everybody within about 7 or so laps of each other. Take a look over here at the track mate. Brian Bender in the lead, 56 total laps, 54 laps for Jackson Darty, Gunnar Bender 53, Robert LaFoon 52, 50 tied up with Jay Latham and Randy Kirtley, 49 for Glenn Burton, and 43 for Gerald Whitaker. Go over here to the strike boards and clear it out for the next round. Remember, no communities. And head back over to the oval, let you watch these guys work, and we'll be right back with you when they go back green racing.
Race starts. Race starts in 20 seconds.
All right, folks, we're back. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Brian Bender, currently your leader, fending off that lead. As we get our first wreck up here into the upper portion of Dead Man's Corner. Looks to be a strike for Gerald Whitaker on orange. There might be another car also coming with him. Looks to be on the white lane, Gunnar Bender. So 2 strikes in already. Like I said, though, this class pretty clean racing for sure. As these, you can see, they've already went through one preliminary race here. These bodies are not the strongest bodies on earth, but they have been taking quite a good licking and keep on ticking. And we can see several of these cars going side by side through the Dead Man's Corner here. But Brian Bender, the man to focus on right now, on black lane there with the tilt truck, as he's down low, rushing the yellow car right above him. That's Jackson Daugherty in second place, as Jackson's giving it everything he's got to hold on to that second position here. Now, right now, Jackson's 3 laps down from the leader of Brian Bender. Brian Bender, of course, having somewhat of a newer motor here, and that car's been fast since day 1 for sure. We see the car on purple, Robert LaFoon, trying his best to creep up on the yellow car of Jackson Daugherty. He's wanting to make a move. Now, whether or not he can catch him, he makes the move there on the inside, and he's able to pass him, but it's very, very close racing, as we can see here. Jackson trying to fight it back and get him. Pretty dangerous fight there for sure. Just keeping the cars on is the best option here. As we see another car coming off, that's going to be 2 strikes on white lane for Gunnar Bender. By Green Racing, Brian Bender, of course, in the lead right now. Best lap at 2.085. Jackson's best lap on 1.914. Jackson right now with the best lap time out of everybody currently. Down low, Brian Bender going to make a pass there on Robert LaFoon. Just kind of breaks up a little bit as he makes the pass, and Robert fights back. But he's able to get a little bit of a lead there on Robert LaFoon, as Robert there still holds his own. As we can see a blue car coming up from behind Robert right now, Jay Latham. Jay Latham there with the 7-Up / Corona mobile in your high paints portion of the track there on blue. Someone definitely to watch out for. We see Jay Latham turning an impressive 53 laps there on blue lane compared to Robert LaFoon there with 52. So just 1 lap difference between the two, but Jay Latham's car there with a nice little coast there towards the end, getting him that extra little bit of lap that was needed. Brian Bender right now turning the most laps so far there on purple lane with 56 total laps. 54 laps there from Jackson Daugherty, 55 laps for Brian Bender on black. So a close little race between Brian and Jackson so far. As we move in over to the oval, we can see these guys working on their cars. But first, let's clear these strikes out for the next heat, and you can watch these guys work at the oval. We'll be right back with you.
Race starts in 40 seconds.
What's up? You driving down this bar? What are you trying to sell? What? I think they just got a bunch of tracks and you drive them.
Race starts in 20 seconds. Race starts in 5 seconds.
All right, 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. We got a stalled car up top on white. That is Gerald Whitaker. Looks like his car's taking off now as he's bringing her on around. Fast car there on blue lane. Glenn Burton there. We got a stalled out car for Gerald. Let me see your car there, Gerald. All right, so Gerald had a incident there with his truck. One of the braids was really, really low. That's why he was not connecting good, but also had an issue there with the guide flag being extremely tight. So we loosened that up. He should have a whole lot more success now in the truck. Probably not even wreck at all from here on out. Minute and 44 seconds left to go. We only see 1 strike so far. And like I said, Brian Vender, your current leader, he's on yellow lane now in that teal mobile. And Brian Vender right now running pretty impressively, 2.146. So far, Jackson running a 1.9. That's his best lap. We see a car get slammed to the high outside here. It looks to be 2 cars involved in the incident. The red lane and white lane. So that's going to be a strike for Gunner and a second strike for Gerald. Remember, guys, 3 strikes are out. So hang in there. Brian Vender there on yellow lane as he's trying to keep off the whole pack. Everybody else, we see the black car of Robert LaFoon coming up on its inside here. So we got a yellow flag here, and that is going to be purple. Jay Latham receiving his first strike. Of course, you guys know that in the previous series, in the spring series, we ran communities. Here in the summer series, no communities. We increased the heat here. We see 2 cars involved in the incident. Down low looks to be, looks like one of them might be Jackson Darty off of Orange. Orange and black. So Robert LaFoon receiving his first, and Jackson receiving his first strike. Robert LaFoon in second place now as he dethrones Jackson up there on orange lane. We can see him actually trying to get as many laps as he possibly can up against Brian here. Him and Brian just one lap separating each other. Key to this game is definitely running a decently fast pace, but more importantly than running a fast pace is just keeping the car on, because if your car comes off, you just lost a full lap there, and that's going to really hurt the averages. It's all about averages in this truck series, I've noticed, because how easy they are to keep on the track. It's just one of those things. So we see a pass going to take place here on black, purple. Jay Latham lifting a little bit to allow Robert LaFoon to go by on black lane, netting him another lap there to pretty much get it within one lap of Brian Bender. 19 seconds left to go in the heat. So we get a track call here. And that's going to be a third strike there for Gerald Whitaker. We'll see him next heat here in about 17 seconds. All right, 17 seconds left to go, and we see our first victim of the three-strike system. It happens. That's racing, folks. Sometimes you just get involved in some things, but it's not over yet. We still have plenty of racing left to go. Round robin 3 of 8. We're not even halfway there yet, so other people can definitely get 3 strikes for sure. Make a difference. Go ahead to the strikes here and clear those out. Heading over to the track mate. We can see Brian Bender still holding off that lead, averaging 56 total laps with 168 total. Robert LaFoon now taking over second position from Jackson Daugherty with 162 with a 54 on average. We see 160 laps of Glenn Burden, 53.3 there in third position, coming off of a impressive 57 lap blue lane. Now currently the most laps turned, Glenn Burden there, 57 laps. There in fourth position, Jay Latham, 52.7, and he was able to turn 55 laps there on purple. Jackson Daugherty there coming off of his orange lane there, turning 49 laps all the way down into fifth position. Sixth position, Gunner with 153, and Randy Kirtley tied up with Gunner with 153. Gerald Whitaker, of course, falling a little short there on white lane, losing 17 seconds of track time, and he's got 115 total laps for the first race in the mini stock truck series. Heading over to the oval, let you watch these guys race. I'm going to go grab me a quick water real quick, and I'll be right back with you.
Race starts at
All right, we're back to business. 95 degrees outside Livermore, Kentucky. Wowzer, folks. That's all I can say. Wowzer. say the very least. It is very hot here. Round robin 4 of 8. Brian Vender still your leader here in this round robin as we get a wreck to take place here. We're looking for a car. And it looks like our leader, Brian Vender, is going to take his first strike here. Surprisingly. Uh-oh. We got stuff popping up all over the place. I don't know why that popped up. All right, Brian Vender. It's going to be on orange. He is currently 5 laps ahead of Robert LaFoon, but Robert LaFoon started an impressive 2.252 is his best laps. We see a car, 2 cars, shunted to the high outside. Jay Latham and what looks to be Jackson Darty. Wait a minute. Or is that a yellow car? That's yellow, ain't it? Robert LaFoon. Robert LaFoon and Jay Latham going to take a strike here. Oh, it looks like we had 2 other cars involved in the incident too. Red and white or orange. Red and orange. So right now, your current leader, Brian, has 2 strikes so far. He's going to have to really watch it for the rest of the heat. Black, yellow, orange, and red. Those are the ones that have strikes. Black, Jay Latham, 1 strike, 1 strike for Robert LaFoon, 1 strike for Gerald Whitaker, and 2 strikes for Brian Bender. Minute 26 seconds left to go in the heat. And setting out in one of these is definitely a hard swallow for sure, because how well will these cars handle? You don't have a whole lot of wrecks taking place, so if you have to set out, it could be the end of your race for sure, unless everybody else wrecks. So we see a orange. That's 3 for orange. So pretty disappointing there for Brian, as he'll be setting out the rest of this heat. 53 seconds left to go. Glenn Burden now 191, probably going to take over first position here in the next few seconds. As we see another car fly in a wreck to the outside. And that is going to be Gerald Whitaker's second. Glenn Burden now taking over first position there on purple lane in a fast truck he does have, running the Elf truck down low. We see Jay Latham moving up a position there to 3rd position. Robert LaFoon there in 2nd position. And that's 3 strikes for Gerald Whitaker. He's going to be setting out for the next 30 seconds. So this heat was rough on the racers. 2 of them already gone. 30 seconds left to go. Yellow and black with 1 strike. Everybody else is clean of strikes so far. But down on purple, Glenn Burden going to make a pass on the inside. Yellow lifting just a hair to let him go by. Robert LaFoon doesn't want to be in the wall for sure. And coming up on the outside, what a pass from Randy Kirtley. He makes a slick pass there on the outside of Robert LaFoon there on yellow. And that is a rotation there. At the end of that heat, we can see that Glenn Burden has 217 total laps, now taking over first position. 2nd position, Robert LaFoon, 214. Jay Latham in third position with 2:13, and Randy Kirtley in fourth with 2:09. Going to clear out the strike system here. Get ready for the next heat. Like I said, we still got a lot of racing left to go here. We're just a little bit over halfway now after we ended the fourth heat. And like I said, all it takes is to crash out one time to drop all the way from first all the way to the bottom. So it's anybody's race here still yet as tight of a race as it's been. So just keep your eyes out, root for the one that you want to win, as we still have a whole season, a summer heat season full of the Mini Stock Truck Series here at Lanes Raceway. We'll be right back with you here just shortly.
Race starts 40 seconds.
All right, 4 red lights dropping out to green. Glenn Burden, your leader, down on black. He loves the black lane. As we can see a car up on his high side, Jay Latham with a quick little 7-Up mobile, just to give him a little bit of a struggle there. But now Glenn's found his method of rotation there, and he's pretty smooth with it. 2 cars coming up behind Jay Latham, one on purple. That's Randy Kirtley as he goes to make the pass. One above him there is that's Robert LaFoon. Or Gunnar Bender, I'm sorry, that's Gunnar Bender on blue. Our first wreck there coming off. And that's going to be a strike on green for Gerald Whitaker, his first. Glenn Burden down on black, making his pass down low below yellow and blue. Yellow and blue having themselves a little bit of a battle there. That's Jay Latham and Gunnar Bender as they swap back and forth. Gunnar making a risky maneuver there, staying on the outside of Jay Latham. But all these trucks, I've noticed, they're able to go around Dead Man's Corner without swapping too bad. So these guys can run a little bit closer with each other as long as they don't trigger the car too hard. Now that's going to be Jay Latham coming off the track there for his first strike on yellow lane. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Oh, so we get a big wad up there in Dead Man's Corner. See who it is involved. So Robert Laffoon is going to take one strike here. That's on orange. Is that the only car? I thought there was 2 cars involved. I guess just 1 car involved in that incident. Jay Latham and Randy Kirtley there, a little side-by-side action. Both of them was able to get past each other. Oh, but then the track gets shut off and they get involved in an incident with each other. So it's going to be 2 strikes for Robert Laffoon. Oh, that's a lot. Orange, green, black, and yellow. So we got 2 strikes on yellow, 2 strikes on orange, and 2 strikes on green, 1 strike on black. So we got 3 guys really need to watch their racing for the rest of this heat, because you know you can drop from the very top all the way to the bottom. 38 seconds left to go in the heat. With the stalled car here, that's on green. That's green's 3rd strike. So Gerald, he'll be setting out for the remainder of the heat. Special thank you and congratulations to Robert Laffoon for being a member here at Lanes Raceway. We just our newest member here at Lanes Raceway. Memberships here at Lanes Raceway go monthly, and it's all fettered access to series races and races the like, and you get in them for free. You don't have to pay for them, and you're still eligible for track bucks and points and all that that is inclined with it. Also, not to mention drag racing 2 is in that membership. We also have an under the 18 membership for the kiddos trying to get involved, and that's $75 a month. Glenn Burden, 275 total outs, 1st place. Jay Latham, 265, tied up with Randy Kirtley for 2nd place. Robert Laffoon there in 4th place with just 1 lap different from that, 264, 52.8. Gunnar Bender, 261, 52.2. And 251 Jackson, 50.2 on average. Brian Vender there, 246 with 49.2 on average. And Gerald Whitaker, 174 with 34.8 on average. Go ahead and clear these strikes out for the next heat. Let you watch these guys work. We'll be right back with you.
Starts in 1 minute. Starts in 20 seconds.
Cut it off.
All right, folks, 4 red lights dropping out. Here we go. Green Racing, Glenn Burton, your leader, 276 total laps, followed by Randy Kirtley with 268. Jay Latham there, 269, tied up with Randy Kirtley. Robert Laffoon right there with him, within 1 lap with 270. We got some fast rollers here. Randy Kirtley now on Black Lane in the X-Ray truck, purple and white. Pretty good little paint livery there. Glenn Burton gets him a little track follower here. And that's going to be a strike for Blue Lane. His first. And Latham giving the once over. But as you guys can tell already from this series, just being in the first race here now, of course last week we had a preliminary, but the first race for points is this week. You can already tell this is going to be a highly competitive truck series race here. These things are not real hard to handle, and as you can tell, they kind of max out right before the crook of the track, so it kind of keeps the back ends under control, kind of pushing the front a little bit. A little bit of side-to-side movement as it comes through the crook of the track, but other than that, you can almost run these things side by side through Dead Man's Corner if you guys are not intentionally trying to wreck each other. So it's going to be a really close little race here. We see a car come off, and a car almost comes and hits me in the chair over here. Purple, orange, and white. And yellow. So right now, the only people that don't have strikes is red, green, and black. No, he don't. Four red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Glenn Burton still in the lead there. Yellow lanes, we're seeing a little bit of movement in the field here. Gunner actually moving up to 4th position, tied up with Robert Laffoon there on white after that wreck. One wreck will just drop you. It's hard news to hear, but it is what it is. When we got these mini stock truck series here, low on horsepower, high on heart, 4-inch series here, bumping, rubbing, side-by-side action in this little bitty mini truck series on the oval. Not going to be that nice later on this evening, though, on the oval, when we join into the bloodbath, also known as Fairview IT Cup Series. I will say this, we have ran a few of these races before, and sometimes they end up well, sometimes they don't. Last week, I ran in one, wrecked twice. Is that an anomaly? It is. Because most of the time in that class, it's a wreck every lap. Glenn Burton, 331 laps total, 55.2 on average. Running impeccably here today. Randy Kirtley there, 324, coming all the way from the bottom to the top here with 54 on average laps. And we got 52.7 on average. Jay Latham to round up your top three, 316. Gunner there in 4th, Robert 5th, Jackson in 6th, Brian in 7th, and Gerald Whitaker in 8th. Strike board has been cleared. Heading over to the oval, we'll let you watch these guys work, and we'll be right back with you. All right, here we go, folks. 4 red lights dropping out to a green. Round robin 7 of 8. And what a race it's already been so far. Hope you guys and gals have been enjoying it. Glenn Burden, your leader on orange, 333 total laps, followed by Randy Kirtley coming from the bottom, 327 on yellow. Jay Latham on white with 320 total laps to round up your top 3. All 3 of these guys have been running pretty impeccable. Starting out the very beginning, Brian Vender holding down the whole race, held it off, and he was holding it for about 3 heats and ended up wrecking out. And we can see how hard it is to have such a wreck take place and drop you all the way to the bottom, because it's hard to make up that unless somebody else wrecks out. Jackson Darty doing an exceptional job keeping his car on. I've only seen him in maybe 1 wreck today, but you know, he's down a little bit on power. As we see a strike happening here for Black Lane Gunnar Bender, his first. Robert LaFoon, first time here in the Mini Truck Series here, about mid-pack here, having quite a few wrecks there a couple heats ago, about 4 or 5 of them total since then. Has caused him to drop out of the top 3, but he does have a pretty quick car also. Gunnar Bender, of course, every time you see Gunnar race, he's always racing for that top 3 position. He's right there on the edge between him and Jay Latham, and most likely he's going to take that 3rd position this heat with 1 minute left to go. We see Gunnar drop into that 3rd position, taking over Jay Latham there, putting Jay there in 4th position. Glenn Burden right now on orange lane, making a nice pass, but then getting it back. It's a back and forth between him and Brian Vender. Brian Vender in the teal mobile as he's rolling around hard on green lane. How different of a scenario this race would be if Brian didn't wreck out. His car's fast and probably the fastest one here today. But like I said, 3 strikes you're out, folks. The heat's increasing in this summer series here at Lanes Raceway. No communities. So no longer can the guys rely on senior 5 strikes here at Lanes Raceway. A little bit of a dirty dart there on Black Lane, trying to knock Gerald Whitaker off of purple there. We've seen Gunnar there give a little bit of a goose there, narrowly causing an incident. 3 seconds left to go in the heat. Looks like Glenn Burden's going to hang on to that lead and keep it within 6 laps for Randy Kirtley. Glenn Burden, ice veins here today. Heading over to the track mate, we can see Glenn Burden 386 total laps, followed by Randy Kirtley with 380. Gunnar Vender now taking over 3rd position, 369 to round up your top 3. But we still have 1 more heat left to go, folks. So definitely keep your eyes peeled here. That heat there was a little uneventful, only 1 wreck taking place. Watch these guys work. We got 1 more heat left to go, and it's bound to be a good one. Can Glenn Burden hang on to that lead with Randy Kirtley dive bombing down there on orange lane to Glenn's white? I think as long as he keeps his nose clean, he should be able to bring home a victory here for the first win in the truck series here at Lanes Raceway. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with you.
If you have your tickets, 2, 7.
Race starts in 5 seconds.
All right, 5 seconds before we're going to see those red lights roll. What a race it's been so far. I think we're starting to see a beautiful trend here in this race. Good, clean racing, hard to wreck each other. A little good side-by-side action here as we see a wrecked car on black lane. Was that car out of its lane? Oh, he did. All right, black and purple. All right, black and purple taking their strikes. Four red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Glenn Burden in the lead there. He's got to hang on to it. 389 total laps, followed by Randy Kirtley on orange with 385. 4 laps difference separating these two. Can Randy make up those 4 laps? It's going to be a tough try for sure to get there. Glenn Burden's been cold-blooded all race. He has just been hanging it in there and keeping his car on, and that's what it takes to win these races. As we see him actually coming up behind the green lane of Robert LaFoon. Robert LaFoon lifting a little bit, allowing him to go on by. But all of these trucks very, very close competitively wise, running pretty similar 2-second or so lap times all the way down through the board. As you can see 2.1, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. Green and yellow taking strikes here. So we have right now 1 strike black, 1 strike purple, 1 strike yellow, 1 strike green. Everybody else no strikes. 1 minute and 18 seconds left to go in the heat. Now folks, the last week of July we will not be live streaming the races. We're actually going to move that scheduled race to the following week. Black Lane going to receive a strike here, his second. But we will actually be shutting down Lanes Raceway for a week, and we will not even be open that week. So as we progress to get the new Lanes Raceway open and get the roof put on it and get it all sealed up and nice, ready to go for everybody to get excited for the new Aton track and the new quarter-mile drag strip, and not to mention an RC track. Guys, bear with us as we progress to the future of the new Lanes Raceway. Orange and yellow receiving strikes here. That's yellow's second strike, orange's first. But we got a lot of exciting stuff taking place here. We've actually been currently looking for a specific type of track, another track to even put in there. So it would be 4 circle roundabout tracks, quarter-mile track drag strip, and a 1/18 scale RC track in the new Lanes Raceway with pinball machines and I think maybe even a pool table or two, and a couple more racing simulators. So that just goes to show you how much bigger the new Lanes Raceway is compared to now. But we definitely want to continue pushing the series and pushing this progression that we've been seeing here at Lanes Raceway with these racers. So purple and black receiving strikes here. That's the 3rd strike for black, 2nd strike for purple. So if you're interested in joining one of these series, right now is the perfect time to do it. We got 3 of them going live right now. We got the Mini Truck Series, the Group 12 Series, and we have the Fairview IT Cup Series. So 2 Oval Series and 1 Orange Track Series for the Summer Series. One of them's going to go on for the 4 crowns. All these points are added together in this Summer Series to give you a winner of the Summer Series, which will receive $500 and a humongous check trophy. And we'll also have a banquet and stuff to have a little eating and get together with one another for first place to let us know what the 3rd crown is going to be coming up. And that's the end of the race, folks. Let's go ahead and clear the strikes and keep the anticipation up before we check the track mate. Now checking the track mate, we see Glenn Burden held it off, kept Randy Kirtley at bay by 4 laps. Gunnar Vender there coming back to rightfully take that third position, as he loves to be in the podium. 423 total laps there, 52.9 on average. And then we got some close bouts here between Jay and Robert, 51.9, 51.4 on average. Between those two, 415 and 411. Brian Vender there, 50.6 on average with 405, and Jackson Darty 404. Gerald Whitaker, of course, 305, having some trouble as he had to set out a couple heats. Jackson Darty's power plant down on him a little bit. Brian Vender having to set out that one big, huge heat really cost him there on Orange Lane. And Robert Laffoon, first time out, not doing too bad there in the truck series. I can see nothing but progression coming from him as that motor breaks in. Jay Latham, the same scenario there, as he's got a little bit of breaking in to do there, 415. So we'll see this all change probably next week, as we'll see some of those guys cream to the crop to the top. Glenn Burden there, of course, in first place. Always watch out for him and Randy Curley, as they're always front runner battlers for sure. But like I said, Gunnar, he's been on one. He ended up bringing home the Rookie Series. Of course, he's not eligible for it. He can run it, but he's not eligible for it to run again for the win. Nonetheless, he got him a big old box made by Jay Latham, and it's a beautiful slot car box here, and he got that at the banquet if you want to go back and check the banquet and see that. Nonetheless, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Mini Truck Series here at Lanes Raceway. Coming up next on the orange track, we are going to have a little bit of Group 12 action. Group 12 flexi cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, you name it, we got them. No side wings, nothing but brutal battles. And the return of the strike system. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out, no communities. So guys, stay with us. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in to the Mini Truck Series here at Lanes Raceway. God bless you. See you soon.